Good morning, everybody. Coffee with Karen. Click. How's it going today? So, we are going to talk about a very exciting topic of attachments. Attachments to outcomes, because it's been on my mind. But it will be kind of interesting, I think, because it really relates to now. Everybody here may not be watching the kind of channels that I'm watching on YouTube. So I'll just give a little background of what is sort of bubbling in terms of expectations that things are going to be happening next week. Today is December 14th. And it sounds like from a lot of the spiritual channels, well, okay, the reason that next week is significant in terms of the election results is because December 17th, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's when like the Electoral College confirms or something like that. It's always been that. There's something about the third week in December after a major election that it gets, I don't know, it gets finalized or something. All the votes are in, I don't know, something like that. I haven't really read up on it. But so there's a pretty big expectation that we're going to hear something that's going to reverse the results, okay? And that's why I thought it would be really helpful today for myself and for anyone else who is really hopeful about that outcome, about somehow the truth of whatever happened in the election comes out. Ultimately, that 45 is then never going to take, office. So I think what's really interesting to me is as I did card readings yesterday, that now let me just say that the SGs have said, yes, next week something is going to happen. Okay, so they're confirming it too. All right. Then for the last couple days, people I've listened to, I've come across some spiritual folks have come across my feed that have never come across my feed before. I posted one that I think would be very helpful for you to listen to if you're feeling attached to the outcome at all. In the community feed of the channel, I posted something about this woman talking about timelines, and I've never heard anyone talk about timelines in terms of spiritual timelines and how energy shifts. And so it was really, really helpful. So I would encourage you to have a listen to her. So she came, so she popped into my feed, never heard of her before. And I do believe that things come across our consciousness and we actually see it when we need to see it. We get the message when we need to get the message. Then yesterday in the circle, I did a card reading from Soul Mirror, which is becoming one of my very favorites. And it's an oracle deck. And the message in here, the card that was pulled was Wish. Wish. Okay, again. Like I wish for this to happen type of thing. So the message is give your wish space and time and then energetically let it go. So give your wish, like this is what I hope happens. This is what I would like to manifest. This is what I would like to see that the reality in 3D be, basically. But then energetically let it go. So that's where the attachment comes in, right? So I'm thinking, so I really love this line. Give your wish space and time. Again, focus. So you give your wish some focus, some prayer, some ask, some journaling about, something like that, some meditation about. and then energetically let it go, like dandelion seeds taken by the wind to where they need to land and bloom. So you're letting them go energetically and letting them land wherever they need to, wherever the seeds need to land and bloom. Let the universe take control. Be sure to make room for the wish by quieting the despairing mind, no matter how big and scary your vision or wish may appear. Things are only ever as big and scary as you create them to be. A negative attachment, this is why I thought about talking about it. It's been on my mind all day yesterday. A negative attachment or pressure for your wish to grow will sow the seed of despair and restrict access to the infinite power the universe holds. So, when we have an attachment, what that tells me is when we have an attachment to an outcome and we're starting to feel like, what if the outcome doesn't happen? And what is and the timing and when is it going to happen and all this kind of stuff. And we start to feel a little anxious about it, or like, what if it doesn't happen on Monday? Does that mean it's not going to happen? And what if he's inaugurated and then it's never going to happen? All this kind of stuff. I think we're basically getting in the way of the energy because that's all fear-based, right? That's not positive energy. This also, I read a lot of comments in the channel, but I obviously can't read all of them. Well, I can, but, it's not where I want to spend my energy so that I can do more here in videos and behind the scenes stuff. But I recently, just in the last couple of days, again, things have come across my plane of awareness, let's just say. So some of I caught quite a few actually comments of people talking about how concerned they are about the outcome. And here, like one person had said, which is fine, I totally get it. This is not a criticism whatsoever. It's just became part of my awareness of the attachment. Well, basically the comments were laid like an attachment to the outcome, basically. So the way that they were describing their feelings were really clear that they were attached to the outcome, because if it didn't happen, they were basically feeling how I was feeling the day after the election, or like a couple weeks after, just really just horrified, basically. And that's some folks are feeling that way now if they're not getting the kind of information they think would be that agrees with their wish, basically. So I thought that line was very helpful to letting go of attachment, and not only with this global thing that's going on, but anything in your life, So I'm actually quite excited because I'm going to do, I'm going to do this on New Year's Eve. I'm going to put something up soon because I never do anything for New Year's Eve. My husband has to work. He usually has to work. He has to work this year, but this will be the last year he has to work. But we're not real big New Year's Eve people because we don't stay out that late. And we don't drink, so. Not that you have to drink to enjoy New Year's Eve, but just disregard. Those are like my things, It's how I see it. Anyways, I want to do something on the channel, but it is going to be in the social. It's going to be in the spirit circle. So one, because it'll keep it smaller and special for those in the spirit circle. And two, yeah, it'll be less complicated than people coming in and out the whole time. Even though people in the spirit circle come in and out if they want to, obviously. But and there really is no way for us right now in YouTube until we move membership sites, we can't give away memberships I think people can gift memberships. There's a thing people can gift, but then YouTube decides who they go to. So it's not like they'll go to the people who are struggling financially. But if you want to join for the New Year's Eve gathering that I'm going to have, then you can just join for 1 month. So it would be basically $5 to join the celebration. It's going to be more of a planning event, but not planning. I haven't narrowed down the language yet, but it's going to be, it's not, okay, so it's going to be something, it's going to be reflective. It's going to be, what is my intuition telling me for the upcoming year type of thing, without it being goal driven, or I don't want it to be New Year's resolutions. Now, you can do those if you want, but it's interesting to me as I think about attachments is that ultimate goals, like if you say, I want this to happen, which I think is good. I think it's good to get clear about what you want to have happen, as long as you can energetically let go and let God, right? And so as long as you can energetically let go of the attachment, which is why I think I kind of got away from specific goals. And in fact, if like my sister Marcia says for the channel, because she does behind the scenes, the analytics and all this kind of stuff, if she says, I'd like to meet this goal at this time, that works really well for her. But if she tells me that, then I get some anxiety about it, because I think it's because I don't want to be attached to that goal, because then my motivation for how I do things, especially here, will change. My messaging will change. And I don't want to be attached, because so far, with this channel being 7 weeks old today, I just realized it was Saturday. I don't want I've been following the flow, which means I've let go. I don't have an attachment to any outcome. I never did when I started doing this. I just thought, oh, let's just bring the SGs out and see what happens. So that's what I did. So I don't feel, I need to be very clear about not changing that, because that is like my biggest concern is getting wrapped up in analytics and specific ways I have to do things. Because my nephew now is working on SEO and all this kind of stuff, which is awesome. But we're going to have to find a balance between that, right? So that I can continue to stay in the flow and not be so, anyways, I can't even go there with the structure. So back to the spirit circle on New Year's Eve. I thought it would be fun just to do something on New Year's Eve, but it's going to be spiritual in nature, using oracle cards. If people have their own oracle cards, there's going to be space to do your own reading within this setting, this group setting. I haven't set anything up yet, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll just be on camera and you'll be in chat. I haven't decided yet. So yeah, some journaling opportunity, space for journaling together and sharing. I'll do some oracle card readings for the group in case people don't have oracle cards. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be, yeah. So and maybe I'll give opportunities for people to be specific, but then we'll do something at the end about letting go of the attachment to that. And then, so we're just sowing the seeds. Maybe that's how I'll say it. Just something like that. We're just sowing the seeds. And then we're going to let the universe, just like a dandelion, we're going to let the seeds blow and plant and bloom as they need to. And then at the end of the night, we'll let the universe take it. And we're going to let go of the attachment to it. That's what we're going to do. See, that's flow of consciousness right there. That's letting, And however your flow of consciousness comes out, whether it's verbally like extroverts, it's helpful for extroverts, or writing for introverts, probably a little bit easier. That's flow of consciousness right there. You just witnessed it. So yeah, so isn't it interesting how pay attention sometimes to things that come across your awareness, and especially if you're seeing them more than once in a couple days, it's time to say, oh, there's a reason why I need to be paying attention to this, you know? So I just really like it. So for next week, I don't even have an expectation that anything will happen. I will be delighted if it does. But you know why I don't have any expectation? Because I'm trusting the universe to take care of it. I'm trusting the universe to take care of it. The universe knows what I want because I've asked. You have to ask, okay? The universe, God, whatever you want to say, okay? My spirit guides, they know what I want. I've written so that doesn't mean no action, okay? I've written letters. I've done the things. I've done the prayers. I've done many videos on here to see where we're at energetically about the whole election process and stuff. But I really don't feel, and I also, some people might find this dramatic, but my husband and I said to him the other day, because we have money in the stock market, and I said to him the other day that I'd really be more comfortable just taking it out of there for the 16th through the 18th of next week. So that means if you have money in the stock market, don't take that as advice. This is not financial advice whatsoever. But for me, that's an action step that I would just feel more comfortable if something happens. If it doesn't, then we're just going to put it back in. So I said to him, is it going to bug you if the stock market goes up the next 3 days and we miss out? And he said no. So, because we honor each other that way, and the fact that like he doesn't have any idea, I've been telling him a little bit, but I don't think he thinks anything's going to happen next week. But if he was concerned about something, then I would be like, absolutely, let's just take it out for a couple days and see what's going on. So, because I do think if there's big news, it's gonna, So again, not financial advice. If you decide on Monday morning to pull it out, then, please you got to take a responsibility for that. Because I don't have any idea. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have any idea if anything's going to happen. What I do know, and I heard somebody say this recently, that if Biden usually has announcements, like big announcements, he usually comes out on Sundays. So that's why I wanted to do it on Friday. So I don't know if he's going to come out on Sunday with something. So that's to say, so again, doing the work, okay, even after you have your wish, even after New Year's Eve, when we have our little gathering, you'll still do the work, right? But you're not going to be attached. You want to work on not being attached to the outcome. That's the key. I think that's really the key energetically, to allow the universe the time it needs. Because I think we get in the way. That's why things take so much longer, because we get in the way. So if you've been attached to what's ever going on, if you've been attached to an outcome for next week, try really hard right now to let the attachment go, because you might be getting in the way of it. Not that you personally will be responsible if nothing comes out, so don't worry about that. But just, I think collectively we have to be careful that we don't get in the way of that. That being said, I did a spirit card reading last night using this oracle deck, okay? And I thought it was quite interesting. And it was about I won't go into total detail, but I wanted to kind of unpack it a little bit here, because it kind of has to do with any potential changes that might occur if the energy stays the way that my SGs are saying it's going to, and other spiritual mediums or whatever. So I did a card reading again from this it's spirit animals. It's so cool, this deck. I love it. In fact, at the end of this, I'm going to do one for today. We'll give you a message from this deck again, from the animals. Okay, so I did a 3-card draw, and you can go ahead and listen to that. I'll post it. I can post it at the end of this video. In fact, I'll post both of the videos that I did last night at the end here if you haven't watched them. One of them was about animals. The SGs answered 21 questions about animals in general. Animals, mostly spiritual questions about animals. So that was one, and then I did this card draw about the state of the world, basically. Because I was curious about what the energy is right now going into next week. Okay? So the first card was kind of the validator of what's going on. Okay? And that was something, or sometimes life stings. So it's a wasp. Sometimes life stings. So that indicated to me that that was a validation that we got stung. So, well, people who voted for Harris and were really counting on that outcome to not be 45, we got stung big time. Okay, so that was a really interesting validator for the situation I was asking about in the card reading. And then the current energy, basically the advice of right now, was to be at home. Be at home. And that might be, I didn't say this last night, but it could be, for some reason, I've been nesting. And I said this in the video, like I've heard people are cleaning out stuff. So everybody's doing it their own way, but it's something about the home. And nesting by me, I've been buying extra food for some reason. Like I've been hoarding food, which is weird. If you know me, I'm a minimalist. Like you might look around I've had people say, I took a little walk around my house once and people are like, where's all your clutter? There is no clutter in this house. But I've been hoarding food and I don't know why. And I told myself, okay, I'm just going to buy this stuff. And then I think it's just because I feel I need to prepare for something. That doesn't mean you need to. Okay. That's just what my intuition is telling me. If your intuition is telling you to not do that, or you haven't had any inkling to do that, follow that. Okay. That's what you should be following. All right. Because my thought process was, if nothing comes about, I'll just donate all that food, because it's a lot of stuff that I probably normally wouldn't eat. And so I'm just going to donate it. Or, some of it is like some junk food and whatever that I probably won't want to continue eating, because I've been kind of eating a lot of junk food lately. Truth be told. So I will just donate it. Maybe that energy is with me to hoard food right now so that I could donate it. You just never know, right? Like that's the universe's way of saying, please hoard this food because we know you will want to get rid of it because you're a minimalist, so that we could fill the food pantry up. I mean, you just never know, right? That just occurred to me. So anyways, be at home. So that was kind of like the current. And then this one was think on your feet. It was the upcoming energy. Think on your feet, the fox spirit. And it was really about, I have to even read it again, because what it said to me though, intuitively, now if you go back and listen to the whole reading, it will mean something different to you, and you can listen to what people said in the comments because it meant something different to them, which is beautiful. What it meant to me, and this is probably because this is where my headspace is be ready to act, but be careful with the way you act. And basically sudden changes coming. Things are going to get kind of ruckus. That's kind of just how I read the card, or even when I read it. And, so the first words, be alert now, for fox spirit has appeared. Be alert. Fox spirit has appeared. And you are meant to move swiftly. To me, that was like, here I've been just sort of nesting at home. And now what this meant is something's coming that's going to create it's basically going to create a lot of opportunity for us to be probably live on this channel talking about stuff. I already thought about that. I thought there might be times where I might just have to pop in the public channel and just be like, okay, what's going on, guys? Don't worry, I will do that if I feel like there's a lot going on that we need to just process. So the fox spirit, let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances. Rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. So it's just preparing us to be creative in our response. But there may also be something about just be at home, be at home. And if home means you're on vacation and just need to settle in there for a little bit, I don't know. I just don't want people to feel like, oh, I made vacation plans. Do I have to stay home? No. You follow your intuition. If that feels good to continue moving in that direction you're going, then you do that. Okay, that's what following your intuition is about. Fox spirit helps you to think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move, aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by fox spirit, will serve you. It's just interesting. So go into the comments of that video and see what people are saying about it. So with regards, so that's, the attachment to, if something, it sounds like a fox spirit showed up. If fox spirit shows up, something's going to happen. It said rapidly changing circumstances. Rapidly changing circumstances. This was in the future, third card. Okay, the near future, by the way. Third card draw. So just interesting. So the spirit animals are giving us a little, that's for people who are stung, are going to be seeing some changes, right? Just interesting. And we have been kind of, I think, I'd be surprised if most of us haven't been hunkering in a little bit. I've heard people saying that. So this card draw was amazing, I think. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that, about attachments. So yeah, so come and join us for New Year's. I'll have it posted soon with kind of an agenda. It'll be a loose agenda, but I will make an agenda because I might be on there for a couple hours. And I think I will do an agenda so that people can come and go as they want to or want to participate in something. So I will try. I don't really like to be structured too much, as you know, but I will try to be a little bit more structured on that evening so people can come and go. So I'll have to think about how long something might take to process if I'm reading people's comments in the chat and stuff. So, okay, let's just do, I'm going to do a little card read for us today let's just ask our spirit animals what they want us to know today. All right, so I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides and guardians, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel so it's only of the light. Amen. Hey, you guys, can you please tap into anyone who, the spirit guides and the higher selves of anyone who is watching this video now and in the future? And what message do you have for us today? What message do you have for us today? So that means anytime you watch this, if you watch this 6 months from now, that this message is probably pertinent to you if you got to the end of this video, basically. So if you landed yourself here at the end of the video, regardless, it's probably going to be helpful for you. Okay. All right. I got a lot of bouncing going on, so I'm just going to, you guys got to be a little bit more clear with me. I just want to do one card. Jeez. My goodness gracious. All right. A lot of bouncing. I see I do wait for something to kind of bounce out. I don't do a top card typically. Okay. All right. Let's do it. There is just one, right? There's two. Okay, I'm going to do this one. The one I just looked at. Okay. I just really wanted to do one. All right. Okay, so as always, unless you're new here, I do recommend looking at the image first. It's number 29. Does the image say anything to you? You might want to write it down in a little journal. You can write the number 29. And then any words that just popped into your head. Anybody like giraffes? Here's the word. I haven't even looked at it. See the big picture. Think of what we just talked about. See the big picture. Giraffe spirit, okay? But also in your life, but it's very interesting collectively what we just talked about. See the big picture. All right, 29. Again, you could get a journal. Write down any of the words that might pop out here for you, and then you could journal on it for a couple minutes. So this book is set up in a way, it's got the oracle message, and then if the card was in reverse, if it had shown up this way, then I would go on to read the protection message, because that would mean there's a different angle to the card, basically, if it showed up reverse. Excuse me. Okay, so see the big picture. Here's your message for today. Giraffes stretch upward to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When giraffe spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it's time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view. Open your eyes to what others need or are experiencing, and see the big picture you fit into. No matter how great your wisdom, knowledge, or experience, you don't want to overlook details and connections that will help you better understand yourself and your circumstances. So stretch yourself. Look beyond what catches your attention at eye level and know that not everything is as obvious as you might like to think it to be. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference. So that's like a beautiful prayer you can say is just to help me see it from a bigger picture. That could be your prayer for today. Just help me see my life and what's going on in the world from a bigger perspective. And then watch for little messages to come across your awareness. Watch for, if you watch YouTube, watch for videos to pop up from people you've never heard about. I love that idea. I'm going to do that. So that's going to be my wish for today, is just seeing things from a bigger perspective than I'm currently seeing it. Some of us already see it from a huge perspective. We'll ask for even higher perspective. Some of us see things from really minute perspective right now. So your perspective might be a little bit like here. Okay, so everybody's going to be a little different. So just from wherever you are, asked to see it from a bigger perspective, your life, and maybe what's going on in the world, if that matters to you. I love that. All right, awesome. Have an amazing day. If you're not subscribed here, would you please consider, if you enjoy this content, and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, because I would love to hear your interpretation of the whole conversation about attachments, letting things go, trusting the universe. Isn't it life just easier to do that? It's just so much easier to do that. So, and then maybe seeing things from a bigger vantage point. How are you using this card? What message did you get today from that card reading? Would be amazing to hear from you. So, all right, have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coffee with Karen. Bye-bye.